Good evening, everyone. This is Henry Gambell with simpleroptions.com, and in tonight's free video, I wanted to bring you a couple of fresh trade ideas. I'm actually not focused on Intel at the moment, but a companion stock here in MU. Now, MU is at an interesting point down here in between the 50 and 100, but the main thing that I'm really looking at is off of this excellent run that it had up into its earnings report. You've retraced right at 618 of that move. So from a major swing low into a major swing high, these tend to be important areas of a retracement. So I think that if you can come in here and work the idea, it depends on how you want to pursue it. I like the idea of maybe selling some puts around 46. I also think a ratio spread might make you some money. Now, of course, some of this will depend on how you open up on Monday. Obviously, the indexes have been extremely volatile. But if we were to trade down into 46, I think that's a spot to look at selling. Selling a batch of the 46 puts, maybe buy a 50 to create a little bit lower delta in that situation. But that's a name that I think you start looking to for a bid. Another that I'd like to buy is Win. So inside this market environment, I would argue that Win has done a pretty good job of holding up. I would also have you come back and look at the way the last squeeze unfolded here, where you have this period of consolidation. And I think it's always very important to note, because in hindsight it can appear so obvious, like, wow, that squeeze really gave you a pretty amazing, awesome move. How great is that? In reality, had you been trading this squeeze, this may have been a tough spot to come in and hold, because you start pursuing it when the squeeze forms. Okay, it's trading around 165. When it pierces down into 155, all that's doing is shaking everyone out, that's using stops, etc., and then you go on with the move. So, in my opinion, you've got a similar situation here that you had back into here. So try to be a little lenient with it. You can look at applying some of the same strategies, but I think Win down into 173 is a place to find a bid and a name that I will be looking for long equity positions. Now, of course, it always makes good sense, too, to diversify a little bit, and I know that this has been a very slow mover, but I am trying to see it through, and that's with gold. So when you look at this, I always like these trade station charts for their squeezes, but you can see that coming back in here, this monthly is the place that I am most interested. So I've been pursuing this through December calls with GLD. They're down a touch at the moment. You can see this daily squeeze is still in play, and admittedly this has been a little bit of a slow mover, but I think that these are three spots, one commodity, two equity spots to look for a long trade, and hopefully you find that helpful as you get into next week.